Hello everyone, I'm Niharika Tiwari from Sociobits, and today I'm with the founder of Hobby Type, Mr. Joshua Salins. Thank you for joining me today, Joshua.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
So Joshua, could you tell me a little about yourself?
Well, I didn't start off being an entrepreneur. I was more of an engineer. I studied biomedical engineering. It was really funny because never even planned of doing any of this stuff. But yeah, I'm a huge hobby enthusiast. I play the guitar, keyboard, sing, dance, act, a lot of things. And I really wanted to be a doctor / engineer. I mean, that was something I always wanted to be. But you couldn't be both. You could either be an engineer or a doctor. But then after doing some research, I realized that biomedical engineering is kind of like in the middle of both. So that's when I pursued biomedical engineering, to make a world a better place, which I feel I'm doing in a different way now. So yeah, that's a little about me.
Okay. So but then how did you come to Hobby Type from biomedical?
So like I said, I mean, I love pursuing my passions and hobbies, right? And I started realizing that somewhere down the line, a lot of people, have stopped pursuing what they did mainly because of work. I could ask you, for example, what was the one thing you always loved doing? Your passion or something like that sort. But because of time, you just stopped. What would it be?
I don't even remember.
See, exactly. So, I've started realizing that all of my friends, every time they used to come like, "Hey, yeah, Joshua, you remember how we used to just sing like that? Or you don't know, we used to just play the guitar or act on stage, but somewhere down the line, it's just stopped doing it." I'm like, but why? It's like, there's just no time. That is when I realized that, I feel so much happier doing the things I love because it's not the same mundane lifestyle of constantly doing the same thing. When you pursue something else, you pursue something you like, it breaks that momentum of, just doing the same old thing over again. You're like learning something new. You're being able to, keep your mind occupied. And that is when I felt the disconnect. Which is why when I was in school, I think it's a funny story about why this whole transition happened actually. Say, even though all of this thing happened, or knowing people had really want to pursue their passions but had no time, it was in biomedical engineering when I was in the placement cell was going on, okay, and all of these, the teacher there goes like, "Okay guys, today I'm gonna come and talk to you. I'm gonna show you how much y'all can earn being a biomedical engineer." And everyone's all excited and they're like, "Wow, okay, we'll see. We've paid 8 lakhs for our education. Now let's see what happens." Now we went over there and this guy goes up and he's like, putting the screen up and he goes like, "Okay, the highest y'all can earn being a biomedical engineer after leaving this institution is," and everyone's like all anxious and trying to wait what's happening, 30,000 a month. And we're like, dude, we paid 8 lakhs and 30,000 is like the most we can get being a biomedical engineer. And then he's like, no, wait, but the least y'all can make is 10,000 a month. And we're like, how is that any better? So that is when a lot of the people in my batch started thinking, dude, I mean, you can't survive in Bombay like this, right? So I also started thinking of different ways than, what I can do. Because even though I really want to do biomedical engineering, at this stage in India, biomedical engineering hasn't picked up that much, right? So I wanted to do something on my own anyways. I wanted to see, what I could do. And that's when I started teaching the guitar and keyboard to my friends and family. That is when I started feeling the thing of money, because people started giving me money and my dad never gave me pocket money at all. He's a businessman himself.
Okay.
But he never gave me pocket money. He used to just give me 500 rupees, and that too after begging him. So that was something that, actually made me start doing what I was doing, the guitar. And then things led to another, which I'm sure I'm going to cover up later on after this question. But yeah, that is how the whole transition happened from biomedical engineering to creating Hobby Tribe.
Okay, so but then how did you what is Hobby Tribe doing?
So yeah, what I noticed was when I was teaching the guitar and keyboard and singing, it was a way where I was making money. But while teaching, I kind of started understanding a pattern that people had and why they never started pursuing. It came down to the 3 T's: time, travel, and treasure. That's money. These are the 3 main problems why people don't pursue their hobbies or their passions. And that is the thing that stuck with me. And I started realizing, if I had to create something, I want to make sure that, I can solve this problem. Because see, being entrepreneurs you're a problem solver first. before anything else. And I kind of diverted, I started understanding that this is actually the problem that the market is facing. So I started teaching more and more things, trying to fix it according to the timing, trying to realize how best I can not make traveling a problem. So what I did was, because my college also was going on and also studying and also doing this was a lot, but I knew a lot of my friends are musicians and are dancers and singers. So I told them, hey, you know what, I'm good at selling, I can talk, I'll get you the students, because they couldn't, it was very difficult for them to do it. So I said, do one thing, I will get you the students, you give me a commission from that. They're like, fine. So what I did was, like I said, the three main problems: time, travel and treasure. So what I did was, I started renting out places in my vicinity, okay, to cover the traveling, because then people who are around the area would come to the place which is the most closest to them, right? So I did that. Whatever money I was making from here, to invest it in that place. And then I told my teachers, you go here at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, the students will come, because I knew time was also a problem. So I tried and understood what time people like, what is the location they stay at, and what's the price point they like it. So accordingly, I made the package for them, and I told these teachers, you can teach here, and I take a commission from it. That's how it started growing and growing, where I used to act like an employee in a company and go into like the gardens and all, and be like, oh, you can sing really well. You know what? You should take guitar. You should take singing classes. You know what? If you get her and come, I'll give 50% off if you come and sing. So, in that way, even when I was by train, I should randomly talk to people in the train, and I used to ask them questions, hey, what if you're on the guitar? Where do you stay? In Dadar? Oh, that's around, there's a class right there. So, like that, I started getting more and more people. And that's how Hobby Tribe kind of evolved from just being a class that I was taking to something more substantial. But again, I was not thinking of entrepreneurship at all. It was just something that was just growing out of hand. Yeah, that is how I even met my co-founders. But it was kind of like my co-founders' brother was one of my first students. So teaching him the keyboard, I knew he was a tech guy. So I told him, hey, I have no knowledge in coding and stuff, but I think you know it. So would you be able to code something? But I have no money. He's like, yeah, it's fine. Even I'm coming out of college. It will be a nice project for me. So I was like, cool. So in that way, he came on board. He was not a co-founder also. He was just a guy who was creating a website for me. So yeah, that is how, it happened. And then he got his friend also and came, and I'm like, dude, I have no money at all. So, you get how many people you want, I can't pay you. He's like, no, don't worry about it, he'll come. I was like, fine. So then even he came on board. And then once that happened, the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, all of our offline classes were all, going away. And they were like, oh, we can't do this anymore, we can't do it online. But then that, now I know what it's called pivot. So we pivoted from an offline model to online model, and that's when we scaled. And that is when, Hobby Tribe became what Hobby Tribe is.
So it's just like one thing led to another, and then...
I mean, it was that, and also kind of understanding the market all the time, because you cannot just be creating something and just leave it there. It has to keep evolving. If it doesn't evolve, it will never grow. If it never grows, then, you'll die. So that is what we kind of did, which is when, we were actually called a startup then, and, a lot of things started happening was only because of the whole pivot that we did online.
So this was in which year?
This was the start of the pandemic, somewhere around 2020.
Okay, so
Yeah,
the
2020.
pandemic kind of helped you guys.
In a way, so everybody says, oh, it's a COVID baby, which was not. It was way before the COVID started, but it was only that the COVID actually made us go to an model that we never thought was practically possible, because people used to come and tell us, you're stupid, who's going to come and learn guitar online? That was the kind of thing we heard. But being an entrepreneur, again, it's not about what people think. If that was what happened, Steve Jobs would have made the computer also. That you have to keep pushing boundaries. Even if people say you're stupid, the more people laugh at you, you're doing the right thing. So that's what kept on motivating. I was like, let's do it, let's go. What's the worst that can happen? And the most people might not join, but what else? So anyways, we did it and it worked. So now there are people who are coming and looking at us, what we are doing, and like they're trying to do what we are doing. So it was a good validation.
Okay, but then, so during COVID, actually the online model helped.
Yeah, it did. It grew the company. Yeah, the COVID model did grow.
But then, do you think people will prefer doing it offline, or what is the response that you get? So you have seen the difference, right?
Right. So again, which is why we are like I said, you need to keep adapting to the market. Now, once COVID is going down again, we notice that, people do want offline classes again. So we are working on a hybrid model where, people, those who want online, who don't have time at all, can do it also online, while people who want to do offline can go more offline also. So we're kind of doing that as well now. So we are coming back to our roots of what we did first when we started, but only now much more wiser than we were before to execute that plan properly.
So, but when you say hobby tribe, what do you offer?
Yeah, so one of the biggest problems people face when they're pursuing, when they want to do the guitar, is they don't find the teacher, or else they don't know where to start looking, right? Because you'd be like, "Arey yaar, I wish I could learn the keyboard," and that's it. I mean, that's all you can say, because after that you don't know what the next point is. Like, who do you talk to? Who do you call? Hey, do you have a guitar teacher? Do you know keyboard teacher? It becomes a big problem. So I wanted to make a uniform platform where people could just come onto that platform, find the class they want, book the teacher immediately and start the class. So they didn't have to even ask and wait aimlessly for like who will give me the contact of the teacher. The best part is we understand how important the teacher is to a student, because if that connection is not there, a class gets really boring. So what we actually do is, if you don't like the teacher after the first trial class as well, you can change how many times you want till you find the right teacher you want. You can start the class.
So you have multiple teachers?
Yeah. We have more than 50, if not, I think more than 60 now, different hobby classes that you can choose from. Yeah, so
even like if I'm learning the guitar, do I have an option where I can choose the 4 teachers?
No. So you can't do that. So what happened? Because it won't even make sense. Because how would you even? I'll give you 4 or 5 names over there, as if you're going to know like, okay, this guy seems like it'd be the best one. We just give you a random teacher. If you don't like that teacher, then you can request another teacher, and we can give you another teacher as well. So
how do you make the connect though? Like, do you look for the teachers?
No, all our teachers are on our platform. So it's not a marketplace. It's not like Zomato, you just type idli and you find random so many idlis from different stages, because that gives you something called analysis paralysis, where you just you're just analyzing which idli to eat only paralyzes you, and then you just forget it, just have Maggie. That's literally what happens, which is why what we wanted to do was we have one guitar class. So you type guitar classes, you come to Hobby Tribe, right? There are no top 10 guitar classes you can choose from. It's one guitar class, you book your day, you book your time, and you get assigned a teacher.
And that's flexible?
That's flexible. You can choose whenever you want the class. Because see, at the end of the day, like I said, you're solving 3 issues: time, travel, treasure. Travel is anyway sorted because you're doing it at home now. You don't have to even go anywhere. Time on your convenience.
But then don't you think with respect to time, it is sort of not become like an excuse, you know what, I want to learn the guitar but I don't have the time. It's like that. So do you not face
So see, it does happen certain times where they go like, "Arey, you know what, I don't have time." But you really need to do it, right? But then see, at the end of the day, it also depends on you as an individual. Because see, for example, now you go to the gym, right? You have to go to the gym, right? But you still make excuses, there's no time. But if you make time to go to the gym, you'd be a much better person. You'd have a much better physique and all that stuff, because it's good for you. The same here. I mean, hobby learning really helps mentally a lot. Mental health is really a big thing now. So if you have to make time for it and you're paying for it, you'd have to do it. So, that is something you have to do.
So probably for you, between doctoring and engineering is entrepreneurship, I think.
Probably. I mean, I am solving people's problems, aren't I? So that is something I really enjoy, because I think I'm a curious person in general. I really like asking questions and really like solving problems in a way, because the moment I see something happening, like some problem, I'm like, there's such an easy solution to it. You can just do it like this. But sometimes I was having this conversation with a girl the other day, okay? And for some reason, girls like venting. And when they vent, they don't want advice at all during that time. They want to vent. And because I'm that kind of person that has a solution to every problem, hopefully, when they start venting and they start talking about it, I'm like, yeah, but the simple solution is this. And they get so mad. I'm like, oh, damn, this is not my cup of tea. So yeah, I mean, it has the pros and cons in what you do.
I really have people who ask me, do you just want me to listen or do you want some solution?
I know why you asking if you don't want an answer to it, it's like crazy.
So coming back to
yeah.
So while creating all this? You sort of summed up your journey and it's quite interesting. But then you, as an entrepreneur, all of us face challenges.
Right.
Could you point out any challenge that you faced?
Yeah, so at first it was convincing all the people to actually take classes online. Because all of the people, after working so hard, bunking so many classes to get customers, I'm not condoning that, so please don't do it. But yeah, I mean, after doing so much hard work and then people saying, no, you don't want to continue anymore. Yeah, that's it. I think we'll do it when the pandemic gets over. And all that, really was like, shucks, now what am I supposed to do, because I've already started and I don't want to give up, I've done something, now I want to see it through. I think convincing people saying, hey, don't even pay the full thing, just pay like for 1 week and see how you like it and then see, that took a lot of time, but it actually worked in our favor because then, I had to think out of the box. So what I did was I approached my old school and I told my teacher that, hey, I know your 10th standard students are all bored at home doing nothing. You can give them something interesting to do. So they were like, what can we do? I was like, ma'am, and this is before we had anything, okay? I was like, ma'am, any hobby you can think of, we have everything on our platform. We had nothing. Like, not one teacher. I only used to teach the keyboard and my other two co-founders used to teach coding. That's it. So I told ma'am, you tell me what you want and I'll give it to you. So ma'am was like, okay. So after one day, she gives me a whole list of different like Mandarin and French and guitar and keyboard. And I'm like, shit, we have only 2 more days to launch and we don't have any teachers. So fatafat, we got like these teachers, we got them on board, we started talking. And it was such a hit that it went to Dubai, it spread to America, and then adults started joining. And the pricing model this time, what we did was we didn't make it like a pay together. What we did was you pay for 1 week, you like the class, continue next week. You like the class, continue next week. To a point where they only got fed up saying, every time paying week, we'll just pay for the entire month. So that is when, we reached that stage where we realized, okay, now they're comfortable paying it online. And yeah, that is how that challenge was. That was one of the biggest ones, I think, that was there.
Okay. So you did not work out any parameters, like only kids can join?
No, I mean, I was a firm believer that, kids are not the only ones who have to pursue these things. And that's what a lot of people only keep, especially in India, they keep thinking that, pursuing art and craft and guitar and keyboard is only once you reach 12. The moment you reach 13, this is all finished. This is my childhood is over. That's not true. You can still, I know people who are 70 years old, who are 50 years old, who actually still pursue their hobbies till this day. And that is exactly how you need to live your life. That is a necessity more than just it's good to have. It's actually a need, that you need a hobby in life, that actually makes you an interesting person.
And you did not even decide on a pricing model? You just adapted through it?
So you're talking about online?
Yeah, online.
Yeah, online, because offline we used to charge a certain amount and the same amount people were not ready to pay at all. So I had to break down the amount into 3 installments. Like you pay for 1 week first, I think it was 200 rupees only. We just wanted them to just feel how it was. So you pay 200 rupees, just try and see how you like it. If you don't like it, then fine, don't continue for the next week. Pay 200 first, it was I think 200, 400. So it was 1000 rupees a month. That's how we priced it, tried to make it affordable. So that way they paid 200 rupees and then they liked it, then they went to 400 rupees. If they liked it, then they paid 400 rupees again. So that's how we used to make the money. It was slow, but every time to create a habitual, life cycle with your customers, you need to go through that kind of thing. Once you pass that, then, it becomes better.
I've also noticed one thing about, this generation sort of, even not us, our parents.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, they want something out of it. Right? So
right.
Even if you're learning the guitar, I want the A1 ka certification and the A2 ka certification. Do you not face customers like that?
I do, and it's so freaking annoying. I'm telling you, parents are amazing.
Competition and
no,
everything.
Yeah. I mean, they literally ask me like, if I enroll my child, will he get certificate? I'm like, yes, you will. Okay. Will he get we'll have to give an exam so that we can. I'm like, dude, this is a hobby. You need to enjoy it. You're not supposed to freaking write an exam and be like, hey, see, my son got 80% in his guitar class. Like, who cares? Nobody cares. But parents want that, so to please the parents, they're like, theek hai, baba, we'll give you a certificate. Be happy with it. But then they're not happy. They're like, nahi, mujhe Trinity bhi chahiye. And the kid doesn't want it. Like they don't want it, but then they're like, no. Sharma ji's son is doing the Trinity exam, so even my son has to do Trinity. Like, why? It's not needed. But yeah, I mean, but that's the culture here. But we had to see at the end of the day, customer's king. Now, if they want it, you have to do it, whether you like it or not, and then kind of tell them that, hey, you know what, there's a different way to approach to do it, which is why now it is getting better. Now it is like, people are like, yeah, I don't want to put so much strain on my son or daughter right now. But it's getting better.
When it comes to like the age gap, the thing also, if a 50-year-old person is trying, to pursue his hobby or like take some time out of his life to do it, so then it doesn't matter the certification and all of that. It's just for it's his time sort of. Correct.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I said again, not all parents are that way. There are certain parents who do that, but there are certain parents who just like, my son wants to do this, let him do it. There are a wide variety of spectrums in different places. So
in the end, the important part I think is that the person who is pursuing it should like it.
Exactly. That's the whole goal. You just need to enjoy what you're doing. That's all. Don't be worried about what exam is going to happen or what.
So, I'll not ask you what are your future plans and everything. I just want to ask you, where do you see this going?
That's a fantastic question. So, in India especially, okay, now whenever anybody goes and says that, hey, I want to be a singer, an actor, or dancer, the first thing parents will go like, तेरे साथ शादी कोई नहीं करने वाला. That's literally how India looks at this, this space, which is really sad because, dude, that guy doesn't want to be an engineer or doctor. Currently, you either be an engineer or doctor, only then you can get married, or a lawyer. That's it. Apart from that, no other stream you do would be happy enough for people. But with Hobby Tribe, we are breaking that boundary. What we're doing is actually creating a whole new career path for thousands, if not millions of Indians who want to make a career being a singer, dancer, actor, whatever they want to be. They can create a career being what they like to do. And that is where I see Hobby Tribe going, creating a whole new cultural difference in India where it's no longer taboo or shameful to be a singer or a dancer as a career path. And that's what we want to do. That is the main goal. Like, forget about all the money and forget about, trying to get more people to pursue the hobbies. If you get more teachers to teach, you'll always have students to learn. So, that is my main goal, which is why in the future, I'm predicting at least by 2025, it'll be such a mainstream thing where people go and say, yeah, I mean, I did arts and now I'm doing singing, or yeah, I did engineering, but I want to pursue vocal training as my main source of income. It's like, cool. That is where I want to see India going forward. That is what my vision is.
Probably will, I think.
We will. It has to happen. I mean, it has to. It just has to. Till it doesn't happen, I'm going to stop. That's going to be very movie.
I think entrepreneurship is very.
I agree now.
The interesting conversation that we had, I really want to ask you, is there anything else that you would like to add about Hobby Tribe or anything?
I think about me and Hobby Tribe, we spoke a lot, but I would say for anyone who's viewing this, if you have a dream and you really want to pursue it, don't worry about what people say. I mean, people will come and go in your life, but if you have a plan and you have an idea and you think it's executionable, do it. Just do it, like Nike says. Just do it.
You should sort of also be a motivational speaker,
I mean, I forgot to tell you. So, like I said, I've never done business in my life, right? I did engineering my whole life and I was a science student. Yet, business colleges call me to talk to their students, MBA students about business, how to run a business. And I'm like here, bro, I have no idea what business at all. Everything I'm learning through as I'm going. So that's that feels so amazing where you feel like people call you to talk about something because they see value in what you're doing, even though you never thought about doing it. Which is why another big thing I tell a lot of entrepreneurs when they want to start, it's not about money. The moment you think about it from a money perspective, you've lost the battle already, because the moment things go sideways and goes down, then you'll just leave. You'll just be like, hey, this is not for me. So yeah, I think that would be my 2 cents.
So thank you so much for joining us on Sociobits, Joshua.
Thank you.
It was a very insightful and interesting conversation, and I hope to interview you again in 2025.
Yeah, I hope by the time I have a nice beard also by then. I think.
All the best. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Bye bye. Take care.